Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are digging into the dramatic story of Nokia, a company that was on top of the world and then almost in the blink of an eye just wasn't.
And that's really the big question here, isn't it? Because back in the mid-2000s, Nokia wasn't just another company. It was everywhere. So what on earth happened? How does the undisputed king of an industry pretty much disappear from the public eye?
You know, to really understand the fall, you first have to appreciate the incredible height they fell from. Their control over the market was something that's honestly hard to even wrap your head around today. Okay, look at this number. In 2007, Nokia had 41% of the entire global mobile phone market. Let that sink in. We're talking over 400 million phones a year. Their brand was iconic, their reach was global, they seemed completely and utterly invincible. And this chart just says it all, right? Look at that gap. Nokia wasn't just ahead of the pack, they were playing a totally different game. They had nearly 3 times the market share of their closest rival. And they were pouring money into research and development. From the outside, you just couldn't see a single crack in the armor. And then, in that very same year, 2007, something happened. The Apple iPhone arrived. Now, at first, the bosses at Nokia just kind of shrugged it off. They figured, it's a niche product, super expensive, it's not a real threat to our empire. Wow, were they wrong? See, the fight wasn't really about the phone itself, the hardware. It was a software war. Nokia's operating system, Symbian, was a relic. It was clunky, super complicated for developers, and it was absolutely not ready for touchscreens. Meanwhile, Apple's iOS was the exact opposite. It was smooth, intuitive, built for touch from day one, and developers just loved it. That tech gap was becoming a canyon really fast. But here's the twist. As it turns out, the iPhone didn't kill Nokia. It just exposed a much deeper, more dangerous problem, one that had been growing inside the company for years, totally hidden from the rest of us. The real enemy was within. It wasn't until a major 2015 study from Harvard Business Review that the real story came out. It revealed that while Nokia looked like a fortress from the outside, the inside was rotting away because of a culture of fear. People were afraid to speak up, and this culture of fear, it created this absolutely disastrous cycle. You had engineers on the ground who knew their software was obsolete, they saw the iPhone coming, and they were terrified. But their middle managers were too scared to pass that bad news up the chain, so they'd water it down. By the time any information got to the top executives, it was this filtered, happy version of the truth that had no connection to reality. So, the company was making huge decisions based on bad information. Okay, so by 2011, the crisis is out in the open. The house is on fire. So Nokia makes this massive last-ditch gamble to save its phone business. They totally ditch their own software and bet the farm on a partnership with Microsoft, switching all their new phones to the Windows Phone OS. And that last hope? It just vanished with stunning speed. The Microsoft partnership never really took off. The phones just didn't have the apps or the ecosystem to compete. So in 2013, Microsoft just bought Nokia's phone division for over $7 billion. But then, by 2017, they wrote off the entire investment. It was just gone. The Nokia phone era was officially over. But, and this is the really fascinating part, that's not where the story ends. Not even close. Because while the phones that we all knew and loved disappeared, the company, Nokia itself, didn't actually die. It just became invisible to most of us. After selling off its phone division, Nokia was basically left with its core DNA, its networking patents and technology. And with those pieces, it started this quiet but incredibly powerful reinvention, moving its focus completely away from us, the consumers. Get this. In 2023, the new Nokia reported net sales of over 22 billion euros. Yeah, billion with a B. This is not some ghost of a company. It's a huge, profitable tech leader that's just operating behind the scenes. So what is this new Nokia even doing? Well, they're building the invisible backbone of our digital lives. They're a massive player in 5G infrastructure, cloud networks, and a lot of the AI solutions that power our world. They basically went from being a name in every household to a business-to-business powerhouse. So when you boil this whole incredible story down, The biggest lesson is this one idea: strategic blindness. At the end of the day, Nokia didn't fail because the iPhone was a better phone. It failed because its own internal culture of fear made it blind. It made it impossible for them to see the reality of the threat and to react in time.
Nokia's story is such a powerful cautionary tale, and it really leaves us with a big question for today. When you look at the giant, dominant tech companies of our own time, you have to wonder, what quiet cracks are forming just under the surface right now? What bad news are the executives not hearing? And who's next?